What's going on, everyone? My name is We Don't Care. My name is, and today I'm reviewing The Exorcist Believer. So, this is a sequel to the 1973 film that honestly I highly recommend checking out because that is without question one of the greatest horror movies of all time. It's so terrifying to watch. I have difficulties going through all of it from the beginning, middle to the end. I have to pause it on several stuff because it takes a lot out of me. It also doesn't help that I hear strange stuff going on in my house anytime I watch it, and makes me very paranoid before I can even continue playing it. So yeah, I love this film. I'm not a big fan of the sequels they made afterwards, but I thought, you know what, it's not as bad as this one because this one, wow, was just really bad. And I should have known because you had the director, David Gordon Green, who was the same guy who did the 3 Halloween films. He had a hand in this, and it shows, and I was not really happy to have him here. The first Halloween film, the 2018 one, was really good. The other two sucked, and this one sucked too. So, the plot should have been simple, right? It focuses on these two girls who end up disappearing. They're later found, they're possessed. They have to try saving these girls from being possessed. That should have been simple, right? But the story feels like two different, kind of plots trying to mesh together, and it doesn't really work. You're not really invested in what's going on. The focus is more on the dad of one of these girls than the other family. It should have been focusing on both families, what they're going through, and they eventually work together. That should have been the focus there. But instead, it just focuses on one parent, and the other family they're just there. And it sucks that you had Ellen Burstyn, the mother from the original film. You would think that she was going to play a bigger role in this story, but no, she's hardly in the movie at all and just made her whole appearance pointless. And that's when you realize, oh, you just brought her in just for the nostalgia feeling. That's it. It was nothing else. That was really stupid. And I hate how when we get to the final act, you should be more invested. It's the Exorcist part. You're trying to save these. You're seeing these girls trying to be saved by all these different people coming together trying to save them. All come from different religions. That should have felt important. That should have been a very big moment right there. But you don't really care. You're not really caring what's going on, and just made the whole thing feel just meh. You just don't care. The other problem with this is with the characters as well. The actors all did a decent job with what they were told to do, but there isn't much story behind them. You're not really invested in much into them because you don't know much about any of them. There's hardly any focus on the other people outside than the ones that we're focusing on more. And it hurts the movie story because you see them all trying to come together, help save these girls, but they're not given a lot of screen time and they're just thrown in there just for the final act. It just feels lazy. And again, I feel bad for Ellen because you could tell she was just brought in for the cameo. That's it. She wasn't given anything else to do, just to be there, just to be there. The girls who were possessed all did an amazing job with the performance. Yes, when they talked and while being possessed, it's not really their voice, you can tell, but still thought they looked amazing. They did a great job with it, and I was really happy with that. But it's a shame the plot and directing didn't help get me invested in what was going on and if they were going to survive or not. And the editing, my god, the editing was so bad. I don't mind how the movie was shot. It's just that when they decide relying on these flash cuts that appear when people are talking, suddenly a flash of a person, like a demonic person or something, just appears out of nowhere trying to scare the audience, it feels cheap. What made in the original work, when we see the demon's face appear, there was silence leading up to that. And that happens oh, that was terrifying. That was legit good. This one, they relied heavily on that. I hated it so much. It felt so cheap. It felt like a cheap jump scare. It is not terrifying at all. It is stupid. This movie didn't have the same heart and passion as the original. I hated this film, and it felt like a cheap knockoff of the original. Normally, I don't get really this angry about this kind of stuff, but I do because I love The Exorcist. The Exorcist is a great horror film. And this film tries to just rely on these cheap jump scares, don't even put any effort in the story or characters, and just bring in someone from the past just for the nostalgic feeling. It's stupid. I really am disappointed with this film. The Exorcist Believer is a forgettable and disappointing horror film. I can't even call it a horror film. I don't even call it a horror film. And they want to do a sequel after this? No. I hope this film does not make back its money because they need to show that you cannot keep relying on nostalgia to help keep making your films. Will Would I recommend watching this film? No. I honestly recommend checking out Saw X or even wait till Five Nights at Freddy's, because honestly, those films probably feel more worth watching than this film. So I do not recommend checking this with your friends or loved ones, or even for Halloween just for laughs. This was not a good film. So that's it, guys. You have a different opinion about this film. What you think of the original film? Leave some comments below. Let me know what you think. Hit my subscribe button. Check my Facebook page. Check out my Twitter page. Check out T3 Media's channel. Subscribe to their channel. Keep up with the videos. And I'll see you next time with more love and entertainment. Until then, take care. Be safe. Love y'all.